Question 2, we have an information box shown to us and we need to read that information before attempting the questions. 2.1, Spoo wants to buy a minibus taxi from a Nissan dealership. Table 3 below shows two different payment options that Spoo can choose from. Note, the balloon or residual is a final payment made at the end of a loan. Now there is a table below with different payment options. We see option 1, there is a residual indicated at the end, and then there is information about option 2. So using this table, we'll attempt 2.1.1 and onwards. So 2.1.1 states calculate the cash deposit. So looking at the table in answering this, you'll see that there is an heading called cash deposit, and this is given in percentage form, which is 20% for both options. Now this 20% will be the 20% of the cash price. Now you see in both options the cash price is 439,800 Rand. So all we need to do is find 20% of this amount. Multiplying through, we get 439,800 times 20%. Our answer will be 87,960. 2.1.2, determine the balloon payment for option 1. If you look at the table, option 1, right at the end, there is a balloon residual payment. This is 30% of the cash price. Now, just as we've done with the cash deposit, so we'll find 30% of the cash price. Multiplying through 439,800 times 30%, our answer will be 131,940. 2.1.3, determine the total cost of the minibus taxi for option 1. You may use the formula total cost is equal to deposit plus installment price times 72 months plus balloon payment. Now this question becomes a follow-up from the answers we've done previously. All we need to do is substitute. Now if you look at the substitution, the first one will be the deposit. Now if you're looking at option 1, the deposit is 20%, and we worked this out in 2.2.1. So we are going to be substituting 87,960 for the deposit. Then it says plus installment price. Now the installment price is given there in option 1. If you look at the headings, it's 5,699 Rand 90 cents. So we'll put that value in there, times 72 months plus the balloon payment. Now the balloon payment we've worked out to be 30% of the cash price in 2.1.2. So we substitute this value of 131,940, and multiplying through and doing our calculations through, we arrive at 630,292 Rand and 80 cents. 2.1.4, Spoo stated he could save 53,000 if he chooses the cheaper option. Verify Spoo's statement using a calculation. Now remember, after you do your calculation, you must verify as to whether Spoo is right or not. So how would we verify which is the cheaper option? All we need to do is find the total cost of option 2 and see which one is cheaper. So we worked out option 1 in the previous question. So option 2, using the same formula as we did in option 1, except we will take out the part where it says balloon payment, because option 2 doesn't have a balloon payment. So substituting into that formula, we start off with the deposit for option 2. Our deposit will be the 20% amount, just as we did previously for option 1. And we see the amount to be 87,960. So we put that in under deposit. Then plus the installment price. Now the installment price is given in option 2 to be 6,788 Rand and 93 cents, and we will multiply this by 72 months, which is the number of terms for the month, and then we multiply through, and our answer will be 576,762 Rand and 96 cents. Now remember, in 2.1.3 we worked out an amount of 630,292 Rand and 80 cents. So we see that we need to establish a difference between this. So we find that we take the bigger amount, which is from option 1, minus the smaller amount, which is from option 2, which we've just worked out, and our difference will be 53,529 rand and 84 cents. Now, the one more thing that we need to establish is that Spoo stated that he could save 53,000 if he chooses the cheaper option. But we can clearly see that his claim is incorrect, because the amount that we worked out after working out the difference would be 53,529 rand and 84 cents. Make sure you verify, because this is an additional mark for you to gain towards your final paper mark. 2.1.5, Spoo as an investment of 125,000. The money is invested as follows. First year at 6.95% interest compounded annually. Second year at 7.25% interest compounded annually. Show that the total investment received at the end of 2 years will cover the residual amount due at the end of the 72 months. So in attempting this question, we need to realize that both the first year and the second year are compounded. So we need to make sure that we realize compounded means that the interest will be added to the principal amount or to the previous year amount in order for us to get the following year's interest. So we start off with year 1 and we take 6.95% and we multiply it by the principal amount, which is 125,000. Multiplying through, we get 8,687 rand and 50 cents. Now remember, at the end of year 1, we need to add this interest on to the 125,000, and our new amount will be 133,687 rand and 50 cents. Now this amount will be taken into year 2, and we will look at the new interest offered, which is 7.25%. So we multiply 7.25% times the new amount we've worked out, and multiplying the 133,687 and 50 cents times 7.25%, we get a new interest for the second year, which is 9,692 rand and 34 cents. Now remember, at the end of the year 2, the interest needs to be added on to move on to the third year. But remember, we will stop in the second year because they only mention first and second year as in terms of the interest being compounded. So adding this extra interest we've earned in the year 2, we have 133,687 rand and 50 cents plus 9,692 rand and 34 cents, and our final answer will be 143,379 rand and 84 cents. Now we need to look at something further where they asked us to show that the total investment received at the end of 2 years will be able to cover the residual amount due at the end of the 72 months. Now what was the residual amount? Remember, the residual amount was the 30% that we worked out in 2.1.2. So looking at the 30%, we see that value was 131,940. So we need to make sure that we have this amount, or we have more than this amount in order for us to meet it. Now looking at this interest gained, we were left with 143,000 some change, right? And we need 131,000 some change. So basically our investment will cover the residual amount as needed after the 72 months. Question 2.2. In South Africa, there is a thought that minibus taxis contribute to road accidents. Table 4 below shows the number of fatalities per province in 2016 and 2017 due to road accidents. Now we have presented before us the various provinces and the stats for the number of fatalities. So 2.2.1, determine the percentage change in the number of fatalities for the Republic of South Africa. So if you look at the table, there is stats given to us for South Africa. And looking at this, we know that this question is speaking about percentage increase or decrease. And the word percentage change gives us this information. Now note this, there is a formula that we use, which is new price minus old price over old price. It's the same principle here. Now what we will do is the new stats minus the old stats over the old stats. Now take note that there are variations in terms of working this out, and your teachers would expand on the different types and approaches you can use here, but I'm just presenting just one just to show you. So I'm just using the new minus old over old. So my new stats will be the 2017 one, so it will be 14,050 minus the old stats, which is the 2016, which will be 14,071, and divided by the old stats, which is 14,071. So doing this here, I'll get an answer of minus 0,15. Now this minus 0,15 indicates to me that it is a percentage decrease. 2.2.2, determine the probability as a percentage that a fatality selected randomly from RSA is from the Western Cape of randomly selecting a fatality from the Western Cape in 2017. So when it comes to probability, it's always what you want or what you're speaking about. And in this case, we are speaking about the stats of the Western Cape. Now, if you look at the Western Cape stats, it's given to us, but there are two different stats given. So we need to know which one to use. So we look at our question and it directs us to the 2017 stats. So we take this because this is what we are speaking about. So it's 1236, and we put it over the total of the amount that we are speaking about. So if we are looking at Western Cape, the grand total would be the Republic of South Africa. So it will be 1236 divided by the total in the 2017 year for RSA is 14,050. Now, one of the things that was mentioned in the question is that it must be a percentage probability. So therefore, it must be times 100. And when we multiply through, our answer will be 8,8%. 2.2.3, which province had the largest decrease in the number of fatalities? In answering this, you need to look at each province and work out the differences between the 2017 and 2016 stats, and the one with the highest value in the difference would be the one that had the largest decrease in terms of the number of fatalities. And we notice that it is in Eastern Cape because there is a huge difference compared to the rest of the provinces in terms of the stats from 2017 and 2016. 2.2.4, even though GP had the highest number of fatalities in 2017 and a percentage change of 3.7%, give a reason why the percentage change for Northern Cape was higher. Now in this question, they are speaking about percentage change, so therefore we have to use the formula and apply the principle of the formula. Now if you're looking at GP and we have to apply the percentage change formula, we'll notice that it will be new minus old over the old, and we have to do the same thing to the Northern Cape, but the difference would be that in the GP we are dividing by a larger number, whereas in the Northern Cape we are dividing by a smaller number. So therefore the percentage change will be higher in terms of Northern Cape. 2.2.5, determine by calculation which province had the largest percentage decrease in the number of fatalities. Now applying the formula yet again, percentage change formula. So we work through and we choose our highest to be the Free State after doing our calculations and trial and error. Once we do this, let's prove it by substitution into the formula. So our new would be from the table would be the 2017 amount, which would be 922, minus the old, which is the 2016 amount, would be 992, and then we divide it by the old again, which is 992. We see that we get a negative answer, minus 7,06, and this is how we prove finally, comparing all the rest, that the Free State has the highest or largest percentage decrease in the number of fatalities. Question 3.1, Spoo's minibus taxi route is from Soweto to Johannesburg. The single trip covers a distance of 23 kilometers. make sure you highlight the important information. So you see there's a distance of 23 kilometers shown to you, and so what's important is that you see it is a single trip. This information is vitally important should they ask you to calculate a double trip. Now looking at the table below, you see it's a table regarding the cost of the trip from Soweto to Johannesburg. Now there are various modes of transport which a person can use. One is the minibus taxi, the other is the train, then there is the bus, then there is the bus rapid transport, and lastly there is the Uber. And if you notice, there's also price changes, which is the 2017 and the 2018, showing also the increases in percentages. So 3.1.1, calculate A, the price for an Uber taxi in 2017. Round up your answer to the nearest whole number. So by the information given, you can see that you need to work backwards, because the 2018 amount that's given in the Uber is 280, but this already has the increase in it. So all we need to do is take out the percentage increase from that 280. Using the same principle that we've done with VAT, when we take out VAT, we generally say 100 over 115. Now in this case, we have 8%. So in order for us to remove the 8%, we will say 100 over 108% times the amount, which is 280. And multiplying this through, we get the answer of 259 Rand and 26 cents. But the question states that we must round up your answer to the nearest whole number. So therefore our answer will be 260 rands. So someone may query and say, how did we move from 259 Rand and 26 cents to 260? Because the 26 cents is not above 50 cents. But if you look at the question says round up your answer. So the question is telling you what to do. So rounding up, we need to move to the next number. So from 259.26, we will get 260. So be very careful when reading your questions, because there are clues placed within your questions to give you exactly what you need to do. 3.1.2, Spoo stated that the price per kilometer for the highest fare in 2018 is almost 30 times more than the price per kilometer for the lowest fare in 2018. Verify with calculations if a statement is correct. So all we need to do is look at the 2018 and look at the highest price. Now looking at the highest price, we get the Uber, which is 280 Rand. So what we need to do is we need to formulate it in such a way where it's price per kilometer. Now price per kilometer, looking at the question, it means price / kilometer. And I told you another way of saying / is to say it is being divided. So we look at the 280 divided by the kilometers, which is given to us at the top, which is 23. And when we divide through, we get 12 Rand and 17 cents per kilometer. Now we're going to do the same for the lowest price. Now let's look at the lowest price. The lowest price would be the train, which is 9.50 Rand for 2018. So we take this, remember it's the price per kilometer and price divided by kilometer. So we take 9.50 Rand divided by the 23, and we arrive at 41 cents. So all we need to do is now to determine whether the highest price per kilometer is 30 times the lower price per kilometer. So all we need to do is divide the highest price by the lowest price and see if we arrive at 30 times this amount. So we take 12 Rand and 17 cents divided by 41 cents, and we arrive at an answer of 29.68, which is rounded off would be 30 in total. Therefore, we see that the claim is correct, that the smallest price per kilometer is 30 times smaller than the highest price per kilometer.